Hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Valerie, a speaker, a certified life coach, and simply someone who just loves to talk. I have come to that realization that that is me. I am that. I do enjoy talking. But one of the things that I've been thinking about this week is how much power we have in our words. And one of the things that I wanted to challenge us all is to be much more intentional about what it is we say, because what we say definitely shapes our thoughts, it shapes our mood, it shapes how we interact with people, it shapes how we interact with ourselves. So I want to challenge us to be more intentional in watching what we say and speaking life over ourselves, speaking life into ourselves. It's so much that happens in this world today, and it's easy to come into agreement with frustrations. It's easy to come into agreement with the negative things that go on around us. Um, Daily it seems like something is happening in the world. Daily it may be something that's happening in your home. And so it's easy to get frustrated and irritated and mad and angry. And the thing is, those feelings are something that we are actually to feel. And it's okay to feel that way. But what I want to challenge us, or what I want to say, is watch what we say and do in those moments of frustration. Because the thing is, when those things happen, we have to understand that it's coming to take our peace. It's coming to take our joy. And so no one can do that. No one can take your peace. No one can take your joy without your consent. So what I want to challenge you to think about is, what are you going to do? Figure out your plan of action when something comes and it kind of thwarts your moment of happiness or your moment of joy, or it just, for lack of a better word, it comes to take your peace. It comes to take your joy. Now, one of the things that I notice is that, and the reason that I wanted to bring this up is that it's been over multiple years. I have always been that one, if I'm around family or if I'm around friends and I hear someone say something contrary to what they actually may be feeling or thinking, I'm always that one to say, hey, watch what you're saying. For instance, if someone says, I may be watching a television show that I like, and someone is around and they're like, ugh, that show makes me sick. Okay, watch what you say. Because is it really going to make you sick? And sometimes the thing is, sometimes you can be playing, but it's something that's coming out of your mouth. And the more and more you speak those things, sometimes your body and your mind, they don't know necessarily if you're playing or not. And so I believe that our words can shape the direction that we go. And so the more and more you play, or the more and more you say colloquialisms that cause or speak destruction over your life, sooner or later you will start to see that destruction kind of comes upon you. And so I just want to say, even in this moment of pandemic, let's be careful in regards to what we say. We can speak things that will never come out of this, or I'll come out of this worse than what we started. Be careful. That may be someone else's reality. That may even be your reality in the moment. But intentionally try to speak things that be not. The scripture says, speak things that be not as though they were. And so be careful that you're not speaking destruction, and then you have a self-fulfilling prophecy of destruction upon your life. Now, this is in no way saying that you can't speak your reality and what's actually going on. There may be times that you are truly frustrated, you're irritated, you're sad, you're mad, you're angry. Fine. And you need to express those things. So, what can you do in those moments when reality actually hits you? And how can you maintain your peace and move forward as opposed to allowing that moment of badness or that moment of terrible situation to take over your life? The first thing I'm going to say is acknowledge it. Acknowledge that it is happening. Acknowledge your feelings. What are you truly feeling in this moment? Try to understand where those feelings are coming from. Are you anxious? Are you nervous? Are you scared? What actually is the feeling that is occurring? And a lot of times what I've noticed is that we only deal in very few feelings. I know that I'm happy. I know if I'm sad, angry, excited, but there are so many more feelings out there that can help you to express what it actually is that you're feeling. I would suggest to you to find one of the emotion wheels that actually help you to determine what it is you're actually feeling, because once you are able to make an awareness of the feeling that you have, then you can start to actually put a plan in place to address it and to address it properly. If you address the wrong feeling, the wrong emotion, then ultimately you're not fixing what's actually going on. So the first thing, when you realize that, hey, I'm feeling this negative feeling, acknowledge it. Find you an accountability partner, someone who is going to speak truth in your life, not just someone who's going to be a yes person to you. You know, hey, I'm feeling mad and I want to go do this. And then you got the person who's like, yep, let's go. Pause. It's good to have those people around, but they also need to be somebody that's going to help you to think about it logically and then put a best plan of action in place. Okay, so first thing is to acknowledge it. And then the next thing that you want to do when you're trying to maintain your peace in a world of destruction, the next thing you want to do is speak into it. A lot of times the things that we speak is what's actually going on. Or we speak further destruction. We make a mountain out of a molehill. So speak life into that actual situation. So for instance, someone, and this is so simple, but I just want you to gather the concept. So for instance, there's someone who they may have on a shoe that's too small. You know, I've had a couple of heels, stiletto heels that are super cute, and I'm strutting in the heels. But because they didn't have them in the size that I actually needed, I went down like a half a size smaller, but that half a size still affected me. And so one of the things that I could say was like, oh my gosh, this shoe is killing me. Now, is the shoe actually killing me or is it hurting? So I'm going to speak what it actually is doing. So the shoe is hurting me, right? And so after I've acknowledged it, I spoke what actually is occurring. Some people will go on and be like, oh my goodness, I can't never find a shoe that fit me. No, nobody holds my size. Everybody, they are out to get me. Nobody wants to accommodate my needs. You see how I went from one small molehill situation and I've made it a mountain. Now I feel like the world is against me. Now I feel like nobody ever has my shoe, regardless of all of the shoes that I have in my closet that actually fit. But because I'm now focused on this one situation, now I'm making a mountain out of that molehill. And then not only have I made a mountain out of that molehill, but now I'm starting to speak further destruction in my life. Nothing ever goes right for me. This is just a shoe. But what I want us to recognize is sometimes we do that in our lives with situations because a small thing has occurred to us. And granted, sometimes these small things build up. But what I want to challenge us to do is be intentional and careful that we do not speak further destruction upon our lives, but that we follow what the word says, which the word tells us that life and death is in the power of our tongue. So after we've acknowledged what we actually are going through, we figured out what the feeling is that we actually have, then we're going to speak life into it. So instead of saying, hey, my foot is hurting, this shoe is hurting me, I can say, you know what? I'm going to go out and find me another shoe. It may not be at this store, but I know that there's a store that carries everything that I need. I remember there was a moment some years ago that I had gone from one size to a couple of other ones, okay? And I remember I was shopping. I hate shopping anyway. I need to stop saying that. I dislike shopping, but I know that it is a necessity. And so in that moment when I was looking for clothes, sometimes I can be quite particular with what I like and what I want to wear. And so I was going to different stores and they didn't have what I wanted, and I consider myself to be quite frugal. And so I did not want to spend a whole lot of money on something that I was going to be coming out of. Although I had transitioned to another size, I was going to get back to where I was. Haven't gotten there yet, but that's another story. And I'll get there. But I remember saying, or I remember realizing that I could not find anything to wear. Ugh. And it was frustrating because my sister, at that time, my sister, me and my mom, we would always go shopping together. And my sister loved shopping. I believe my mom did too, especially with shoes. And I just never was that person. And so during that time, my sister, she was going to rack to rack to rack, and she was picking up clothes and just finding anything and everything. And then, and me, could not find anything that really fit, could not find something that I liked. So what did I end up doing? I went to another store, and I went to a particular store that I absolutely love these days because it had the right length, it had it in my size, and they were clothes that were cute. Okay? I didn't just want it to fit, but I wanted it to fit nicely and I wanted it to be cute. And so it fit everything that I needed. But one of the things that I was determined is that I was not going to stop. I was not going to allow the situations that were going on around me to stop what I needed to do. And so I was just like, okay, I can't find it here, but I'm going to find something. I'm going to find it. And sooner or later, I did. And so the thing is, 1, we acknowledged it. 2, we speak life into it. We speak, although we see the situation and it does not seem that anything is going to get better, we continue to speak those things that be not as though they were. And then we're able to see things fall into place. If I had succumbed to the realization that the stores that I was in did not have what I needed, I would have stopped and never found anything. I could have just stated, you know what? There's nothing out here in my size that's cute. There's nothing that nobody makes things for me. No. I kept an attitude that said, hey, there's something out here for me. Even if I got to make it myself, there's something out here for me, and I believe I'm going to find it. So I encourage you to speak life into your situations. Don't let your situations get the best of your emotions, but continue to speak life into it. Also, the other day, I realized that there was almost like a nervousness that had come on the inside, and I could just feel it in my gut. Like, I could just feel like something was not right. And the thing that I decided to do was to speak into that situation, actually get into my mind, what was it that I was actually feeling? Where are these feelings coming from? And when I was able to address the root cause, I was able to turn it over to God, because truly it was just something that was trying to steal my joy, steal my peace. But I understood that I have the choice. I have the choice to decide whether I'm going to let something take my peace or not. And I realized that the power that I have in my words, I was going to use it. And so in that moment, I began to just speak over my life, speak over and tell myself who I am, who I believe myself to be, regardless of anything that was trying to come to mind, anything that seemed to be in reality. I kept speaking life over myself. And what I realized was that that feeling that was in the pit of my stomach, it began to go away because I began to speak positivity into that situation. And so I want to encourage you and challenge you to do the same, to be more intentional in regards to what you say. As time goes on, you will begin to realize how you use your words can help shape your mind, help shape your mood, help shape your relationships, and help shape the direction that you'll go. So I challenge you today to speak life. It's so easy to speak the negative. It's so easy to speak destruction, because most of the time, seemingly, that's the first feeling that comes up, are those negative emotions or those negative feelings. But be intentional to speak positive over yourself, to speak positive over your life. And then once you take those day by day steps of speaking life and speaking positive, you'll realize that it will become more authentic and more innate. And that would be your first course of action to go to, is that when something negative comes, your first response will be a positive. Your first response will be something to speak life into it. And then you watch those things change. After you acknowledge it, after you speak life into it, then you need to apply those things. Once you speak it and you get a direction in your mind where you want to go, then you're able to move in that direction. You don't want to move in the direction of negativity. If someone does something to you and you know that if you react immediately, you understand that some consequences may not be as beneficial to you. So you need to take a moment of pause and determine how can you develop a recourse for this. And so once you think about a better course of action, then you apply that positive stance and you move in that direction. So I challenge you, speak life. Don't let your words shape you into a negative road, but instead allow your words to build you up to the person that you want to be and to the life that you want to have. So speak life today and do it day by day by day, and watch your world change. I'll see you all next time. If you like what you heard and you like what you want to see more, go ahead and hit like and subscribe to my channel, and I will have more to come. Talk to you all soon. Bye.